chemicals that make babies smell sweet and teens smell goat-like have been revealed. Aroma researchers worked out which chemicals in body odor differ between infants and teens who have hit puberty. For a science, volunteers sniffed out odorous chemicals in the armpit sweat of babies and teenagers. Perhaps unsurprisingly, they found that young children smell like flowers and teens smell like goats, but now we know which chemicals are responsible for each of these odors. Many of us are familiar with baby's sweet scent, but we may wince while catching a whiff of a teen who skipped out on that day's deodorant. Previous studies have also found that parents prefer the odors of babies to those of teenagers, which may somewhat influence their affection towards their children. Intrigued by the role scent plays in relationships, lead study author Helen Loos, an aroma researcher at Friedrich Alexander University in Germany, aimed to explore how body odors changes throughout life, BO. In the research published March 21st in the journal Communications Chemistry, Loos and her colleagues provided 18 young children ages 0 to 3 and 18 teenagers ages 14 to 18 with t-shirts with cotton pads sewn into the armpits. After the participants wore the tees for one night's sleep, the researchers sampled smelly substances that had soaked into the pads. And using gas chromatography, a technique that splits up chemicals with different properties, the researchers separated and detected the individual odorants in each body odor sample. Then they asked volunteers to spell and describe each chemical scent. 42 odorants were detected, with both age groups producing most of them, Loos told Live Science. Note that a single odorant can set off many smell senses in the nose, and combinations of odorants can trigger unique and complex patterns of activity that differ from what one odorant does alone. Nonetheless, the component scents in a given bouquet influence whether it smells bad or good to the sniffer. We were not surprised by the overall findings, but it was very interesting to see the rich variety of compounds, Loos said, of the odorants detected. Among these, a group of chemicals called aldehydes was the most diverse, giving off cardboard-like deep-fried and nutty aromas, for example. Body odor from both age groups also contained carboxyl acids, a class of organic compounds, and some were pleasant, giving off a fruity or dried plum-like notes. Others were less so, smelling cheesy, musty, or like a goat. The team diluted each carboxyl acid several times to assess how intensely each one contributed to body odor in both groups. The carboxylic acids from teens' armpits retained their scents after more dilutions than did those from young children, suggesting the chemicals might be secreted in higher concentrations after puberty. The teen body odor was also harbored 2 steroids that were absent from the young kids' samples. One smelled like sandalwood, a common fragrance in perfumes. The other smelled like sweat and urinals, perfumed a locker room, if you will. Changes in people's body odor between infancy and puberty may be linked to alterations in their skin, including hormonal changes, a shift in the lipid or fat makeup, differences in the skin microbiome, or activation of sweat glands and sebum glands, which exude an oily substance. However, it's still unclear which of these anatomical changes may explain the differences in this study. In studying the participants' self-made body odorants, we were very careful in considering all kinds of potential contamination, Loos said. They asked the infants' parents and the teens to avoid smelly foods containing spices, onions, or garlic, and they provided perfume-free shower gels and unscented detergents. Nonetheless, many odorants picked up in the body odor samples were also detected in these provided samples, so it's unclear how much they influenced the findings. Conscious that odorants in the air might absorb into the cotton pads, the researchers also provided each participant with a second t-shirt to leave in the room unworn. Most of the 42 odorants were also found in these unworn teas, but it's unclear whether they emanated off the participants or came from other sources. Some chemicals previously linked to body odor went undetected in the study, including acetic acid, which gives vinegar its signature scent. This may be explained by the team studying a small, non-diverse cohort, or the fact that techniques differ in their ability to detect different substances. Lois and colleagues plan to employ other approaches to capture a wider variety of odorants, as well as to explore how body odor changes in other age groups, including older people. They also want to study more intense body odor following exercise or multiple nights of sleep, for instance. And you ever wonder why some people build muscle more easily than others, or why freckles come out in the sun? Okay, that's send us your questions, they say. This is by Kamal Nahas on Live Science. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. My Patreon account, the daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.